So it's time to get the bug up off that little cart that I built and into some air where I can get underneath it. So I got my little lift device here. So you got a cable locked down on this end, goes to a pulley, goes underneath there, goes to this pulley and over to that pulley, and that pulley up and down to this little Harbor Freight winch. And then the base, the legs are like that. It works pretty well. It's pretty simple and reasonably inexpensive to build. I don't think I probably have much more than $100 into it. But yeah, there she goes. She's kind of hanging in the breeze there. Right, so next little project here goes back into here. I had to cut out a little section here at the bottom of this panel because it was rotten, and it made it easier to get the heater channel out when I just cut it off. So that's what I've got here, and now I got to patch it. So what I did was I looked over here at the side that is not cut up yet, but it's going to have the same issues, and I made a template out of what the shape of it is. So you can kind of see here how it looks, and then I just bring it over here. I just got to make another one to fit the space that I want to cut out here. Show you how I did that. It's kind of hard to see here, but what I did was I went up to the lip up there of the inside of the trunk where the fuel tank hole is, and I measured down to here to see where that edge needs to fall. I'm figuring it's going to be the same on this side. I determined how much I needed to add to that after I cut it off, and it looks like it's right about the 15-inch point. So I took my template and I cut a patch, and I'll show you what that looks like. If I can get out of here without bumping my head. Just marched and I measured it out here. I measured a 3-inch piece. That's what I figured I wanted to cut and fill. And I believe this is 20 gauge steel I picked up at Alro, and that is going to be my patch. So let's see what we need to do to get that in there. Now what I've done here is the patch is going to be just shy of 15, like a 1/16 of an inch shy of 15 inches. My patch is also 3 inches tall, so I measured from the top down to just shy of 12 inches, made a couple of marks, and that's going to be my cut line for the patch. So from there I'm going to make a straight line across and cut that piece out. There's a spot weld right here, or right in here, that I will be catching with the I'll have to drill that out to get that piece out, and there may be another one in here somewhere that I have to drill out. I'm going to wait and see on that. The edge also on this side has a flange to it. It comes off on a flange, so I've got to create that flange on that patch piece as well. That was figured into the size when I cut the patch. So after a bit of dinking around, I've got this is about the way it's going to fit. I bent the angle there. I just hammered it down on my vise and right there, so it's a pretty good fit. I'm going to be able to grind it down to make it look pretty good. Nobody's ever going to see this stuff anyway, but that's what I need to mark, and that's what I need to cut out right there. go. Okay. Now the only thing that's holding it in is a spot weld or two here. This is ugly. Show you what I'm looking at here. Inside there, look at that. So I'm gonna have to rebuild a little bit of this floor here, and probably some of this as well. But this is a start, so I can see what I'm doing, figure out how far I need to cut. Yeah, I want to show you what I got here. So I got this piece trimmed off, and the metal inside is pretty much just shot, the flange that it was attached to in this whole tunnel. Are we focusing here? I think we are. There we go, that's better. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off right in here on the inside while I've got it open and it's accessible. Because otherwise, once I put another piece of metal in here, it's going to be pretty tough. So we're just going to cut it straight across there. And that should give me pretty clean metal to start with. There, so I did a little cut with my Dremel. I'm not going to cut it out of there, I just want to get the cut made. And I'll take it out on the other side when I start working on that part. I think that should work pretty well. Not too much here to take out, but it's definitely going to need some repairs. Thankfully I didn't have to replace this whole piece because that would be a pain in the butt. But that's where I'm at. And now I got it held in place with the magnets, and it's a pretty good fit actually. I think it'll work. And then the next time we do the other side, then we'll do that one as well. Boom. Let's see, here we go. Perfect. Here we go. See how my welding skills work today. Whoa. So need a better ground here. Looks good. Down here. That's ugly. There it is, tacked in place. Let it cool down. It's starting to warp a little bit. Let's flip it out a little bit like that. But you get the idea. So I'll fill these welds in and grind it all done. It'll look beautiful, I hope. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. not the best looking thing in the world, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, we'll just grind it down probably a little more and slap some thin coat of filler on it. Call it good, I think. So now I'm looking at this area up here. I got my patch in on the other side right there, but I got to fill this in, and I'm using this other side, which is still intact as a guide, but you know, it's in pretty bad shape too. So what my plan is, when I did that other work, I cut this so because I knew I wasn't going to be able to access it once I had this plate in on the other side. So I had the forethought to cut that, and that's where we're going to start our patch, right there. I'm making a cardboard template like that, and basically I'm just going to form it so that it fits, and I can cut one piece of metal. This will be my template for cutting one piece of metal to fit that space. I'll probably trim it out right about like that, straight across at the bottom of that little cutout there. That's the plan. Alright, so I cut a piece out because I'm just using crappy cutters. Comes out a little warped, so I'm just going to hammer it back flat here. Alright, reasonably flat. It'll get flatter. Now, what I did here is, let's see how I had this. Right like that. I wanted to leave a little extra edge on this edge. So we're going to do crease butt here. Never one for having a lot of makeshift. I'm very good with makeshift tools. So paint stick. There's my first crease, and go ahead and cut that little angle in there first. May find use for that. I'm going to bend this on my vise, which my crappy little vise here should work. I'll have to bend it over. You don't need to have a whole lot of expensive tools to do this stuff. You just need to get creative sometimes. Bingo. Yeah, it's a little off, but it's okay. Let's see if I can fix that. Well, no, I'm probably not going to be able to fix that. No, it's already stretched. It's not going to get repaired. See how I did it on kind of an angle. That's how I get for eyeballing it. Anywho, then we go back over here. So we got that angle. Now we want to do this line here. Just gonna eyeball it again. Hopefully I'll do better this time. This one goes that way. I've had this vise forever. I'd love to have a nice big vise, but this seems to work pretty well for most of my purposes. I don't usually do this kind of stuff. Go down in here a little better. First, give it a little push by thumb action here. Finish it. Let's see where we're at. Pretty good. So now we need to start making some bends. We'll do this one and see if it works, but I'm not real crazy about the way this is going. Cut that. We're going to cut here. Should probably be lined up. Yeah, they should be lined up. So I'm going to eyeball the marks, transfer them over to here, use those. I actually did quite a bit of this kind of stuff in high school when I got my first car. It was an old rusted out 68 Pontiac Le Mans. And it's funny because that car was only 10 years old when I got it. It was in 1978. And it was considered an old, junk car almost. 10 years. And now I'm driving a 2006 car here in 2021. So I'm driving a 15-year-old car. I guess I haven't progressed much, but I think people say that they don't build them like they used to. No, they don't. They build them a hell of a lot better than they used to. Used to be a car was 10 years old, it was considered junk. Not anymore. Not if it's a good one. It goes all the way to the edge. Okay. I'm going to just start bending it the way we want it to go. Need something to hold it on. That's really about what we're looking for, I think. I think that's pretty close. Let's go under the car and see how it looks. Get you looking straight at where we're going here. Where am I at? There's our work area right there. zoom out a bit. Okay. Let's see what we got. That's pretty good. Dang it. That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. That's freaking just about perfect. Look at this. Look at that. So I can get you to focus here. Why doesn't it want to focus? Alright, so got my piece. I made it. It's got some nice little tacks to hold it together in shape. I've marked it with a black Sharpie where I want to cut so I can patch this in. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to cut. Plug my machine in. Yeah. Turn the power on. Alright. Not bad. In a little bit. So I'm off a little bit. I cut that a little too thin, I guess. Looks like it's back set in there back about maybe 1/8 of an inch. There's enough flex in here, and this really doesn't matter. I can just push this in a bit. Be good to go, I think. Yeah. Not perfect, but it'll work. Let's see. That's about perfect, that wise. That's better. Let's get some tacks in there and see how we go. This could be a little better fit over here. Oh well, let's grind a little bit off of this face. There's a bit of a gap here, but I can fill that up. What I figured I'd probably do, since I don't have a flange here to come out, is I'd make like a little fillet of metal in here to tack over the top of all this to give it a little more strength where things come together. Alright, so now used a couple of magnets to hold it in place. Vice grip down there. I'm just going to do a couple of tacks to get it secured. I used my sander to clean the surrounding metal up, so it got clean metal to attach to here. Let's see. Gotta get my clamp, my ground clamp on. And the torch. Wish I had a little better situation for doing this stuff, but here I am. On my knees in my driveway, my dirt driveway. Making do. There we go. Take. I think I got some there. Yeah. Let's see if I turn my gas on. It's almost like I don't have any gas. Yeah, forgot to turn the CO2 on. Okay, this will make it a little cleaner weld. Tap. Well, I think it worked. Anyway. Yeah. Ugly, but there you go. That's a little better. That's good right there. There you go. It's a matter of tacking the rest of it in. I'll bore you with the rest of it. Well, hey, look at that. Look too bad. Why this thing's focusing wrong. There we go. Not too bad of a patch. God, what is with this thing? Maybe the switch. There we go. Maybe that helps. Pretty good little patch. It's strong.